Hey everyone. Okay, I am back after a week and 2 days. I was waiting to see if Pastor Mark was going to finish the depression through or breakthrough through depression. But it was Mother's Day on Sunday and he did not finish this. So what I did was I researched and thought of stuff on my own about ways that you can cope with anxiety and depression. So just to rehash on this very quickly, for those of you who weren't watching before, the first thing about breaking through depression is recognizing that depression has a twin. And then the second bullet point was realizing that your circumstances that are depressing you, but it is your thoughts about your circumstances that is depressing you. And then the third one was only thinking and acting on, which is believing, God's truth will set you free from depression eventually. So that's like the spiritual side of it. So I'm going to go over a few tips. And a lot of these tips that I'm going to go over, they have helped me cope through my anxiety and my depression. Some of the stuff I still have to do for my anxiety and depression. It's just not as bad as it was before. So the first one is making sure you take a timeout. So what that means is making sure that you do something for yourself. So for example, do some yoga, which is mind, body, and soul. Listening to music. Music relaxes me. Hence, I guess that's why I'm a dance teacher, because anytime I hear music, my mind's at ease and I feel like all my problems can go away. Meditation. There's plenty, and I said this in my last video, there's plenty of meditation apps that you can have on your phone, and it'll remind you when to meditate, how often you need to meditate. So look into those. Get a massage. For the ladies and for the fellas, you can go get a pedicure, because they massage you too when you go get a pedicure, even a manicure. And then you need to learn how to relax yourself. So you need to learn about your own kind of relaxation techniques. Whatever it is that relaxes you, that's what you just need to do. Not on a daily basis, but on a quite regular basis. Something else that I learned, which I didn't realize was important, but anxiety and depression also is a trigger if you don't have a healthy lifestyle. So another tip is you need to make sure you eat well. You need to have balanced meals. You don't need to skip meals. And when I had it really bad when I was pregnant, even though I was breastfeeding and stuff, there was some times where I was like skipping meals just because I was running out of time. And I would like pump at school, I would pump at work, and then I'll forget to like eat the snack or forget to eat lunch or something. It's just like time. As a mom and a teacher, it's really hard to balance that, especially if it's your first time having a child when you're in the field of teaching. It's just like you're learning how to balance everything. So you have to make sure you eat well. My doctor told me that eating green things in high iron is good for anxiety and depression. So I ate a lot of spinach, and I ate a lot of like romaine lettuce and broccoli. Pretty much anything green helps you with your anxiety and depression. You need to make sure you're eating healthy meals, and then you also need to make sure you have like an energy boost, like an energy snack on hand, just to give you a boost of energy. The next coping tip is limiting alcohol and caffeine. So nothing with caffeine in it, nothing with alcohol, because that triggers your panic attacks for anxiety and depression. Some people may think, oh, let me take this drink, it's going to help me. No, it gives the opposite effect. And especially if you're on medicine for anxiety and depression, you definitely shouldn't be drinking anyway. So it's not just alcohol, it's also caffeine as well. And another tip is getting enough sleep. Now, for some people, for anxiety and depression, some of them sleep more so than others. For me, from my experience, I couldn't sleep. I was having like nightmares about going to work. It was It was crazy. And I guess that's why I was waking up crying, not wanting to go to work, because I just wasn't sleeping. And I guess that was a part of my anxiety depression. Like I said in the last video, that was one of my fears. So you have to make sure or find ways for you to be able to like sleep through the night. And if you are sleeping like throughout the day and you're having the opposite effect, you have to like force yourself to get out of bed. You have to force yourself to be active, go for a walk, go eat lunch with a friend, do something, go play a video game. You have to get out of bed, because if you're one that's depressed and you sleep in the bed all the time, that's having a negative effect on you. If you're one that you can't sleep, you've got to find ways to relax your body so that you can have a good night's sleep. Chamomile tea works very well. Taking a shower before bed works very well. Reading a book before bed helps. So there's just little things that can help you go to sleep, and then there's other things that you have to do to help yourself not sleep all day. So they both have opposite effects. Some people suffer from both of them, and then some suffer from either or. The next tip is exercise daily to help you feel good. This definitely helps me. I dropped like 25 pounds because I was like laying in the bed and the illness was like talking to me. Like, remember I said I had like the devil on this side and the angel on this side. Like, they were just like, no, you're a horrible mom. Yeah, you don't deserve to be here. Like, it was crazy stuff in my head. Like, I was crying. I was having panic attacks in the bed. And I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm watching The View and I'm watching all my trash TV. And I thought that was going to distract my mind. Nope. While I'm still watching all that stuff, those words are still playing in my head and the little voices. And so I was like, screw this. So I like got up, put on exercising clothes. I would go run. I would jog like 2 miles. And like, I dropped so much weight, not like negatively, but it helped me just like get back in shape, get physical. And it just pushed me, because I just could not stand being stuck in the house all day and just letting that negativity just stay in my mind. It was driving me insane. So you have to make sure you do some type of exercise. If you don't like being outside, go find a local gym. There's some gyms where their membership is as low as $10. If you can't go to like a regular fitness gym, try a YMCA, try a rec center. Go sign up for a dance class. Go sign up for your yoga class. Go walk with a friend. Ask anybody. Like, there are all kinds of people that are willing to like have a workout buddy. I had 2 people today. One of my friends on Snapchat, and then another one of my friends texted me. Was like, hey girl, I need a workout buddy. Like, do you want to go work out? Well, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's hard for me to do that because we have our basketball league right now, one of our businesses, and I started a dance team with little kids ages 4 and up to high school. So I'm busy on those days. And on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays is the only time I'm free. So I was like, no, girl, Monday, Tuesdays, and Friday, catch me then. I'll go work out with you. So definitely try to work out. If you don't like working out by yourself, definitely find someone that will work out with you. It's more fun anyway. Take deep breaths slowly is another tip. Whenever you feel like a panic attack coming on, anxiety attack, or you feel yourself just freaking out, you just need to take a deep breath in and release it out. And if you need to do that multiple times, that's just what you have to do. You'll know the adrenaline is going to run through your body when you're about to have an attack, and you just need to calm yourself down, calm your nerves down, and just breathe in and out just constantly over and over again until you calm your nerves down. And like I said, make sure you count to 10 slowly. Make sure it's 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually take your time. It may sound silly, but it really is a good tip for some people. The next one is do your best. You cannot try to be perfect or strive for perfection when you're suffering from anxiety and depression. It's easier said than done. This is another one of my triggers because it is my second year teaching at the school that I'm at. But it was my first year at that school, having like my own classroom and everything, and getting to call the shots on stuff. And so like while I'm going through my anxiety and depression, like I'm trying to make sure I have everything perfect, I'm trying to hit all the deadlines, and I just got overwhelmed, and that made my trigger even stronger and my panic attack even stronger. And that's right before I broke and right before I had to take 2 weeks off. But like I was just trying to be an overachiever. I was trying to be the best I can be, and in the end it didn't work and it didn't pay off because like my mental health was suffering from it. So you just need to be able to tell yourself that it's okay. Like nobody's perfect, and things aren't going to be perfect. Hell, life isn't perfect. So you just have to be proud at what you have accomplished so far, what you can accomplish, because no one's perfect. And the next tip is accept that you cannot control everything. Is your stress as bad as you think it is? This is just a problem for me in general. Not really towards anxiety and depression, but I just kind of like to be in control of things. I'm a control freak. I think a lot of teachers are, because like we're trained to have classroom management and be in control. But when things don't go my way, I get like so pissed off. But I have learned throughout this whole process to just like, if something doesn't work, it doesn't work. If something doesn't go as planned, I'm like, okay, whatever, like I'll plan it another time. This whole illness has like taught me so much and has given me more patience within myself, and I just have to realize that I cannot control every situation, that I'm not in control of it. All I can do is just roll with the punches and keep on going. So make sure that when you're suffering through this, that you're not trying to control everything, because trust me, the illness is going to control you, for sure. But you just have to make sure that you do a lot of these steps so that it just doesn't hinder you. The next one is welcome humor. And so like a side note that I wrote is a good laugh goes a long way. So definitely at work, I laugh constantly. Pretty much I laugh until I see my first student come through the door, until I'm locking my door at the end of the day. I laugh probably less than 50 times a day. Seriously, and I'm not kidding. My kids are hilarious. A lot of them have like big personalities, and they know who they are. They have big personalities. They make me laugh. And when I was struggling through anxiety and depression, some of them knew, like I said last time, and some of them didn't. But just hearing them like crack these jokes and just coming in my room with their big smile on their face and just being silly and goofy, like that was the only thing besides like my kids at home that kind of like just lifted me up and made me smile. So welcome humor. And it doesn't have to be from like someone. Watch a comedy or read an article that's funny or look at comic books. Like you can't just be like in the state of mind of just negativity constantly. You've gotta find something to cheer you up. You have to. And if it takes like somebody cracking a joke at you, or you cracking a joke on them and making them laugh, and then you laugh in return, you have to figure out what works for you. The next tip I have is maintaining a positive attitude. So you need to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Now, for some people, this is easier said than done, but it is an easier step than a lot of these. In the event that you come across something negative, like in your life, at work, at school, within your family, you've got to find the positivity out of the horrible situation. There's always a positive, there's always a positive feedback, or I don't even know how to word this. There's just always something positive out of a negative situation. I don't really have an example off the top of my head, but one thing that helps me is just when I'm feeling negative or negativity is around me, a lot at the moment about something, I'll just like go on Pinterest and I'll type in like positive quotes, and I'll just like scroll through and I'll read all those quotes, and it kind of just like brings me back down, and it kind of makes me focus and realize like, okay, yeah, like it's really not that bad. So definitely just try whatever, however you can be positive. Like for me, it's quotes. And also like listening to positive people, like influential speakers. That's something that also helps me as well. So you've got to figure out what works for you and how you can remain positive and not negative. And the last one that I have is learn what triggers your anxiety and depression. Is it work? Is it school? Is it your family? Is it your boyfriend? Is it your girlfriend? You have to figure out what the root of your illness is. For me, it was my hormones after having a child. Can't control that. Everybody's body is different. But before that, before I realized that I was actually suffering from it, before I had postpartum depression, it was my job. A little back history. After college, my last semester of college, I started my dance company called Happy Feet Dance with the help of one of my bosses, Ginger, and then one of my best friends, Carolina. And I started that business, and it was a side business because I was like, okay, like this is going to start small, and then I eventually wanted to grow big and have a studio. So I started that. And while I started that, my senior year of college, I got hired at a daycare, and I worked my way up like throughout the classrooms. I had like 3 different age groups. I stayed there for 3.5 years. It was really hard for me to leave because I grew there so much, and I had my son while I was working there, and then he went there, and I just made all of these fantastic relationships with I would say about 5 or so people, and I still talk to them till this day. They're like family to me. And I just felt like something was missing. Like I was like, okay, I went to college, I paid all this freaking money, and I'm still not happy. And so I was like, I know I want to do something with kids. And so I was just like, finally, I was like, okay, I've just got to take the step. So I just quit 2 weeks after my birthday. This was in 2013. I quit. Then I went to go sub in Spring ISD. So then when I went to go sub in Spring ISD, it was great. I was happy until I got that paycheck. I wasn't fully certified at the time when I was subbing in Spring. So I had left a job where I was getting paid decent, not a lot, where I was getting paid decent. And then I left it for a job that I thought I was going to get paid more at, but come to find out, because I wasn't certified, I wasn't getting paid as much as the other substitute teachers were. So I was like, oh, heck no. Like, I was in a more horrible situation than I was before. So I was like, okay, I got to fix this. So then I hustled, got a daycare job again. And it was at this little daycare, very small, not one of the big companies that I usually work for. Wasn't feeling it. I lasted there maybe a month, and that's not like me, because if you look at my resume, or if you know how good of a worker I am, like I'm loyal to my companies. I stay there for years, and I don't leave unless there's like a better opportunity for me. So like I hurried up and got out of there because I just was not feeling it. And then my first daycare job that I got here in Houston helped me get the second daycare job, because it's the same company but 2 different people owned it. So I got a position as curriculum director, and I bonded, made great friends, still friends with those people till this day. But I just felt like still something was missing. And at this time, I was certified in dance and I was certified in PE, and I was just having trouble like finding the job that I wanted. So I was still miserable. I stayed there for 1.5 years. It was a great school. I met great people. They pushed me to limits that I never thought I could go before at that center as well. But I just was not happy. I would come home complaining. It's just something wasn't right. I was depressed, but I was suppressing it and didn't even know it. And then finally I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to step out on faith and I'm going to do my business full time. So then this is 2015 going into 2016, and I did my business full time. Well, at that time when I did my business full time, I only had 2 centers and I had less than 10 kids, and they pay like $55 a month. So if you do the math, that's not very much. So I was like, okay, this isn't cutting it either. This is not cutting it. So after like 6 months or so, or 4 to 6 months or so after doing that, I was like, okay, I'm going to try subbing again. I'm going to sub in Sci-Fair. So Sci-Fair had a different pay rate as far as like if you're not fully certified yet or whatever. So I went ahead and did subbing with Sci-Fair, and then I also have family members and friends that were in Sci-Fair. So I was like, okay, well, you know, it takes somebody to get into district sometimes. It's who you know, not what you know anymore. So then I finally got into Sci-Fair subbing, and I ended up coming across a long-term subbing position, fell in love with it. I was scared because it wasn't a area that I was strong in. It was special ed for PPCD kids, behavioral PPCD. And I was like, I have not experienced in this. Like, I can't do it. And I ended up falling in love with it and cried when I left, fell in love with those kids. So that's when I realized, like, I was limiting myself. Like, I could have done so much more. I was just scared. I was letting my fear hinder me from my future endeavors, and I could just kick myself. But at the same time, you go through everything in life for a reason, and this goes back to positivity. You've got to find the positive things out of everything that you've gone through, because it's made you stronger. So you haven't gone through that stuff for, you know, for nothing. There's a purpose to everything. And after I was subbing, I applied through HISD. This is now 2016, 2017. And applied. I was like, okay, I haven't been getting jobs anyway, so I wasn't expecting to get anything. I was just like, okay, I'll just get certified in special ed and just get a job at Sci-Fair at the school I was at. And I get a call the week of my test. And that's what I'm saying, like, it was nothing but God. Got a call from my principal, went in for an interview. I put on like this cute dress, my heels. I had this pink lipstick. I thought it was hot stuff. I had my hair curled and everything. Went in for my interview, killed it. Kind of knew I had it when I left. And then when I got the call or in the email, like, I just started bawling because finally I was excited, and finally I was happy, and finally I felt complete. So I tie that back in to say, you've got to figure out what it is that's giving you anxiety and what it is that's giving you depression. You need to analyze what's going on in your life. Even if you have to like write it down, write the pros out, write your cons out, and figure out what is hindering you from these feelings. Because like life has so much to offer, and when you're struggling through anxiety and depression, you're limiting yourself to what you can accomplish in life, to the memories you can make in life, to just pretty much anything. So I hope my coping tips can help somebody. I hope this live video can reach out to somebody that's struggling with this, and they're, you know, just not comfortable with talking about it, or comfortable, you know, with this in general. But I'm hoping that any of these coping strategies that I gave you could help you. And I'm hoping my experience can help those as well. So I'm going to end this video. I did decide on a title for my vlog. So far I've done 2 lives. I still need to do some more research on vlogs and stuff, but for now I'll do lives, and I'm just going to save all of my notes from these previous lives that I'm doing and the ones to come, and then I'll eventually add it to like a complete, you know, vlog diary. That way other people can see it, not just on Instagram. So I have gone with the vlog name of Life with Ivana. My mom came up with it, and I think it's really cute. So those of you who voted for it, thank you, because you've helped me. I always like to take people's input. People's input matters to me a lot, even though it's not supposed to, but it does. That's just the type of person that I am. So thank you guys for being so supportive. Thank you guys for voting. And I'm excited to create more videos for people. I love helping others. I love being there for others. That's always been a part of my character. And so I'm hoping that I've helped somebody tonight in some way. So it's getting late. I've got groceries to put up. I just got back from grocery shopping. It's been a long day. So I will see you guys next week with a different topic. Bye. Have a good night.